everybody, and welcome to my first impressions of Nightmares from the Deep, The Cursed Heart, the Collector's Edition. This is a point-and-click adventure, a genre that we definitely don't see very much nowadays, especially on Steam. So I was very happy to see its arrival, because I'm an enormous fan of point-and-click adventures. I played them ever since I was a little kid. Looks like we can mess with this jellyfish back here, just kind of ruin his day by scaring him away. Bye-bye, jellyfish. Nice knowing you when we did. But this is a point-and-click adventure, as I was saying, by Artifex Mundi. And, it's, as I was saying, we don't see too many of these, so it's kind of interesting how I would have to judge it, like basing it off of, like, old and new ones and stuff like that. I do like it, all in all, but there is a lot of stuff that I am not too fond of in regards to this game. Let's just go ahead and jump in so I can actually start having basis to talk about it. Now right here we get our difficulty mode. We basically get regular mode and expert mode. Regular mode, in some ways I suppose you could call it easy mode, because there's no misclick penalty for hidden object scenes. I actually haven't tried that because I didn't do expert mode, so I don't know what the misclick penalty actually is. I would have to guess it's just like an overall score for the game or something like that. The main thing about regular mode is that active zones glimmer more frequently, and the hint/skip button recharges more frequently. The active zones, basically, that's just these little lights that kind of flicker around places that you need to take action. Personally, I kind of prefer the classic point-and-click adventure trope, where things actually don't really glow at all, where they don't really give you any hints based on what you're supposed to click and all that. But I actually like it in this game, and I'll get into talking about that once the game actually starts.
Now,
so let's check out the cutscene here.
Years later, Remington's body is being extracted from the depths of his watery grave. Soon, this precious artifact will be on display in the Caribbean Naval Museum. My museum.
Alright, so as you all can certainly tell, that was our character talking right there, and we are the curator for a museum, and there's this new pirate exhibit that just came in, where this nice little package here, we just got Captain Remington. It's going to be the main feature of our exhibit here. But yeah, starting off in that cutscene it shows a lot for one of my bigger complaints about the game. I think the game looks really nice and perfectly fine once it's actually, like, in the gameplay style, but the cutscenes they always look rather fuzzy to me. The Steam page for this game advertised it as having AAA quality graphics, but it definitely isn't quite at that point. Like, as I said, everything looks rather fuzzy and not really sharply defined. And once we get to interact with the characters here, they oftentimes have very awkward movements. Like, this is gonna be one of my biggest pet peeves. I don't know if we're gonna be able to see it here, but there is virtually no audio dubbing in this game from my experience. It's more just
Miss Black.
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be too far away to tell, but we'll be able to see before too long, and this is a small detail that I really don't like as well. Characters, when they walk to and fro, they usually just vanish rather than actually finishing off going to their destination. Obviously a very, very small thing, but kind of a thing that means a heck of a lot in its own way. Apparently we could look at that little glass ship thing over there, I wouldn't have guessed. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk to our Dar right here.
Hi, Mom. I just want to sneak a quick peek at this legendary pirate, and then I'll stay out of your hair. Come on, let's check out the crate that just arrived.
All in all, I think the voice acting is pretty good in this game. Sometimes I think it's a little bit phony sounding and not all that real. But really, my main issue with I was going to say anything about the voice acting. Sometimes it sounds like the mic isn't too good. Like I was talking about the graphics being fuzzy at times before, but oftentimes as well, the sound quality sounds a little bit fuzzy, only when people are talking. But really, the the audio dubbing is very, very distracting, seeing as there
you're all
isn't
set.
really any.
Now, if you don't mind, I'll be on my way.
And now the guy's gonna leave without even opening the package. You would think that would be part of his job, but it's, as we'll be able to see right here, no way to open it, we need a crowbar. Really don't understand why that, like, UPS man wouldn't have done it himself. I'd imagine that would be part of his, like, job description, but, you know, let's go ahead and see what our
The
Dar
crate
wants.
is nailed shut. Do you think we could pry the lid off? With so many tools lying around, I'm sure you can find a crowbar. I'll stay here and keep an eye on the crate. Oh, right. I still have the key card to your office. Here you go. And don't worry, this mummified corpse won't be going anywhere without me.
Alright, so we got our first item. That'll give us a good chance to talk about the gameplay. Seeing as this is a point-and-click adventure, obviously, a lot of it is going to consist of pointing and clicking, trying to find what objects you can interact with in your environment, like this exhibit poster, there are these guns right here, there's this package right here. And for example, once you see an item that you can interact with, just pick it up, and then, like in this case, we could use it to cut that thing and start opening this. This is one small detail that I do really like. I really love it in point-and-click adventures where they give you the incredible privilege of, like, doing even the small actions. You'd think it would be annoying, but it kind of pulls you into the universe. Like in this case where we just flipped open each, like, little piece of the cardboard box right here. So let's see what we got here. To the museum curator, this flintlock pistol is a rare artifact. Yada yada yada, yada yada yada. Basically, it was just found by the diving team with the captain pirate there. And then let's go ahead and check out this. This is kind of a silly puzzle right here, but a good example of the kind of puzzles that you will find in point-and-click adventures. There's that sword. The captain's sword is at the bottom, but it's covered up by all of these ones, so we need to go ahead and pull them out. And actually, apparently, we need to pull them out in the order that they are kind of stacked. You would think that Our Lady would just be able to reach on down there and grab it a little bit, but I suppose those are all like, those aren't like artificial swords. Those are the real deal, so we could cut ourselves and stuff like that. Got our inventory right here, which we'll be able to use to go ahead and get into our office. Standard kind of thing with the inventory, you know. I feel like I don't need to go into that too deeply because, you know, just pull up the inventory, grab the item, try to interact with the thing, see if we could, like, cut our way through the door. Obviously, we're not going to be able to do that. So let's see what we've got, in store for us inside. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna kind of rush through this stuff a little bit because I want to be able to... There are future cutscenes that are going to show up before too long that I want to show off. Like, obviously we're kind of in the tutorial stages of the game right here, and I want to plow my way through all of that. Here we go. We got that safe that we just found, but we didn't have a combination for it, and so we obviously needed to find that within our room. Now here's one of the, like, official puzzles of the game, and for that it gives us our skip button right here. I kind of wish the skip button was a little bit harder to find, because basically all you could do throughout the entire game, because I don't know if there's a way to turn off the skip button. Let me actually test that. Yeah, it would appear that there is no way to turn off the skip button. And, really, it's just right there, and it's the hint button in all other cases, so it's kind of, tempting in an okay way for some, but in my opinion, I would say it's tempting in a bad way, and it's just too there for my... it's too easy to reach, in my opinion, because it makes it way too tempting for players to just skip their way through the entire game while trying to solve puzzles on their own. But if you would skip this one, I think you're a little bit of a silly Billy Papa Chili, because, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. So we found this weird necklace right here. I should explain what we're doing. We're actually collecting items, not just so we could eventually open up this thing right here, but we're grabbing all of the captain's, like, supply, like his... The key things to what made him stand out, like his pistol, his sword, and then this weird necklace that he has, just to kind of finish the appeal of what he looks like. So let's go ahead and light up this area down there. And here's our crowbar, so we could go ahead and work our way towards completing the job. We do not have to open this? Yeah, there's no real reason for us to come down here at this moment. Let's go ahead and show off the hint button, because the hint button is a very, very nice thing in some regards. I was complaining about it before, but I do prefer the hint button more than the other one, because oftentimes one of the things that can suck you out of a point-and-click adventure is when you really are completely lost and have no idea where to go, have no idea what to use your items on. And for that case, I really like it a heck of a lot, because just by tapping the hint button, pulls up this nice little arrow, or as we'll be able to see probably here, yeah, it has this nice little glow that shows you what actions you're supposed to take place, in what order you're supposed to do things in. We're supposed to use the crowbar to break that? Oh yeah, I forgot. That's something I find really funny, personally. Like, yeah, we're opening this up to get the flashlight, but really at this point we have no reason to grab the flashlight or the axe, so... And obviously that was like a break in case of emergency thing, so... Why Our Lady would do that right now, it's a little bit silly, but we could have delayed that action, I'm pretty sure. I don't think we need to do that before the actual case in time to do it pops up. Whoa! Jump scare! So here we are with Captain Remington's body, and basically what we have to do is just get... Oh, whoops. Click the wrong spot. Let's go ahead and put this flintlock back. But this gives us a good chance to do what we had to do in the future. There's a weird glowing object in there. Weird gem thing. But obviously, as one might expect, that's the gem that we need for the necklace we found earlier, so... Oh, maybe we have to read this first. Yeah, Sarah, according to the attached reproduction, Remington used to wear specific accessories. You will not find these in the crate, as they were delivered separately. Outfit Captain Remington in his full regalia before these showing. Basically telling us that we're supposed to find all of his stuff and kind of equip him with it, so let's go ahead and do that. This is one of my favorite parts in the game, in all honesty, right here. It's because there's obviously something a little bit suspect about all of this.
You're really playing a trick on my eyes.
And our character just kind of, I don't know, goes with the flow. Weird lightning emitting from this lady. Don't even ask to bother to ask our daughter, if I remember correctly.
It's a little weird, but I think that visitors will be amazed.
Okay, yeah. Apparently she's gonna be like, oh, green lightning emitting from this corpse of like this weird pirate. A little weird, but the people will like it. So well, just keep on going for it. Place that on in, and the necklace decides to hug it like a baby.
Unbelievable. The jewel casing claimed the gem as its own.
Alright, let's go ahead and grab that and keep moseying along our way. So obviously now this is when things are gonna get a little bit funky, because clearly any reasonable person would not put this weird glowing necklace on this pirate here, who is oh shoot, accidentally followed the flow with that. Who is very well preserved for how old the corpse is, but you know. What's up, my lady?
Mom, you know I'm scared of the dark. Could you check the fuse box?
Let's go ahead and back up and check that there fuse box. This is actually something that got me, oh, whoops. Now that we've opened this, I should talk about it a little. As many point-and-click adventures do, if we pull up our menu screen right here, this is another kind of area that gives us, hints in the way of notes. Like, it tells us what kind of actions we need to take in the future, because our character will continue to mark down what you need to do next. A very, very helpful thing. Kind of similar to, like, in the Myst series, where one of the greatest ways to solve puzzles is by reading journals, because people often leave very, very crucial information in writing. And then, of course, there's our objectives here, which is a bit more of a straightforward way to figure out what you're supposed to do, like the broken fuse option right there. So let's go ahead and pull out our flashlight, because obviously this won't work anymore because we don't have any power. And now we need to find the fuses, which one, because obviously all of these broke and we need to replace them. Now this is something that is actually kind of a big complaint in the game. Seeing as it's a point-and-click adventure, obviously you're going to have a lot of puzzles, and as one would expect, many of those puzzles are rounded about finding objects, and that's what we're doing right here. Essentially, the game just turned into I Spy, and we've got this whole list of items that we need to find. Only thing is, it feels somewhat irrelevant in a lot of regards, because I actually completed this game, so I've played the whole way through before doing this recording right here, and I skipped many of these by doing the mahjong thing that you could do otherwise, which I'll explain in a moment. But for the most part, and maybe this is even the case of all of these, basically what we're doing is we're looking for objects, like I was saying right here, like a fire extinguisher. There we go, we found the fire extinguisher. But that's completely pointless, because we're never going to use that fire extinguisher. What we're looking for here is the fuses. So there we go, we found the fuses, the object that we need to solve the puzzle. And you would think you could just go back and then continue on with it, but no, you can't. You actually have to go through finding all of these unnecessary items that you're not even going to use through your journey just to progress in the game. And there are, as I mentioned, like countless numbers of these puzzles all throughout the game. Like, I can't even remember how many of them there are, but like, this is by far the thing that you will see most often in the game, and it's sad, because I think that this is without a doubt the weakest part in the game, just because it's really tedious, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense why you would be grabbing all this stuff completely out of the blue, rather than just grabbing what you need and continuing on. I'm not fond of it, let's just say that. I think it slows down the narrative, and I think it's done way too often in this game. So let's go ahead and show off the mahjong thing. Whenever you come up against one of these puzzles, if you think it's tedious and don't want to do it, instead you could decide, hey, why not just play a game of mahjong, which obviously is what they're pulling up right here. Basically, this is kind of the skip button for these puzzles. If you don't want to click and find all of those objects, then instead you could just pull up this game of mahjong, and by completing this instead, we will actually succeed in completing the puzzle at hand that we had before. And I think this is nice. I think it's a nice thing all in all, because it gives players something else to do, you know, if they're not fond of searching for all the objects, or more importantly, if they get stuck, like they can't find all the objects, although for the most part, just like rapidly clicking around the screen has done the job for me in the past whenever I've had trouble locating something or other that I need. But then again, I also feel like this suffers from a lot of the issues that the kind of I Spy puzzle thing right back there does, in the regards that, like, it basically, in my time playing through the whole game, it got to the point that I was unbelievably sick of those like I Spy puzzles, and I was really sick of mahjong as well. Like, I've never been the biggest guy into mahjong, but the mahjong isn't really difficult as well, because you don't really get any penalty for losing. If you get into a spot with it where there's no further courses of action that you can make, it just shuffles the pieces, and then it makes it very easy to progress further. I don't know, that is definitely my biggest complaint in this entire game, in all honesty, those puzzles, because I think there's way too many of them, and they're rather tedious. Which is a damn shame, because, like, I sound like I'm ripping into this game a lot, and I apologize if it does feel like that to you guys, but there are some things that I enjoy about this game, and definitely like a lot. Like, I don't think this is in any way a bad game.
The power has been restored.
I just think it's got a lot of small issues to it, you know? And, I'll kind of get into my full thoughts about that towards the end of the video as we continue. Oh my god!
Come here, quickly!
Alright, looks like the captain has vanished. So let's see what our daughter has to say about that.
I can't believe my eyes. The showpiece just ran away. And he dropped something in the crate, in the wood shavings.
Oh shoot! I should have examined the thing first. This is a really funny point. I could still show it off right here. But the first time I did it, I actually examined the box where Remington was in previously, and I found this golden signet before talking to my daughter. And so when I talked to her, she was like, he just vanished, and he left something in the shavings. And I was like, yeah, I just checked and found it. You don't need to tell me that. But now it's even better because we've searched and found it on our own.
Mysteriously shaped ring?
Oh, wait.
Maybe it's a key to something, like in adventure movies.
Wait! I must have broken the game the first time in some regard, because when I searched that first, every time I talked to her, she just repeated, there's something in the shavings, over and over again. That's silly. I wish I could have shown that off right here, but obviously I messed up my chance at that. So, this is a... Wait, actually no, I already showed off the hint button thing. So now, obviously, as one might expect, this is our key to opening up this part right here. So let's go ahead and turn that. And we find a mysterious golden doubloon. Although there's not too much that we could do about that. Ah!
Was there someone behind me?
I've been mocking a lot of those jump scares here, but I gotta say, actually, my first time playing through this game, every one of them made me jump. Maybe I'm a total wuss, but they were very, very effective, I will say. Oh no, a daughter! This is a funny thing I like that we could do now. It just zoomed in on our daughter being like, holy crap, she's up there, but we could just walk away if we wanted to. No need to worry about her, but obviously let's progress things.
Mom!
You'll serve my purpose, maiden. Sail forth, my ship, to Skull Island.
So this is something I should talk about, these animations right here. I'm very, very torn by them, because if this video looks really fuzzy, at least when the animations are playing, that is not my recording software in any way. That is 100% what the game looks like. And I can't decide whether or not the game... Oftentimes, I do think the animations look really bad. Like when we zoomed in on our daughter there, I thought it looked really fuzzy. I thought the animations looked really clumsy and awkward and not all that good. But then when the ship first like burst through the wall, despite the fuzziness on the screen, I thought the animation looked pretty cool. But I don't know. I think all of the stills like this right here look very, very good. They're rather sharp, very polished, and there's a lot of very nice visuals in this game. It's just the animations, definitely could be better, to say the least. So let's go ahead and break our way on into this. We're actually going to see some more of the animations in a bit. Right now, for example, actually. So, like this right here. It's very Myst-esque, I would say, where it goes from the first-person thing to all of these, like, more, to these cinematic scenes right here. And this is something where... I don't know. I don't know if you guys can see the fuzziness. Like, it's very, very fuzzy on the rims here.
I can't see anything.
Oh.
Where am I?
How do we turn the light on here? Oh, the light just turns on. I forgot about that. Okay, but watch how crisp it's gonna turn. Yeah,
A
yeah.
genuine haunted ship. I
Like,
have to find my daughter. She must be so scared.
hurry up and finish, Lee, so I can talk, please. Thank you. As you guys might have just noticed there, I want to point it out, but I might not have pointed it out fast enough. If the cutscenes were this crisp, it would be phenomenal. I would have no complaints whatsoever in that regard. But as you guys, I'm sure you noticed, like, the transition between the cutscene to this is quite staggering, showing how fuzzy the cutscene was. Like, just this guy alone has so much more detail in him now than he did before. But I don't know. I think we're going to cut off what I'm going to show right here, because that was basically the ending of the tutorial segment of the game, and this is where things start to flow more regularly with the story and stuff like that. So let's talk about the pricing and my finished thoughts about this game. As I mentioned, I actually completed this game in whole, and this game is about 3 hours in total. At least that's roughly how long it took me to beat it. So that's pretty standard for most point-and-click adventures. Point-and-click adventures are usually more about the story and, like, the exploring, cool and exciting worlds and stuff like that, and usually can be beaten rather quickly. Most of the time not on your first time through. Like, your first time through could go to much more than, like, 3 hours. Like, Riven, one of my favorite games ever made. I can't even tell you how many hours that took me to beat it my first time. But that game can be beaten, like, I think without, like, cheating and rushing your way through the game. I think once you know how to complete it, it takes about 2 hours. If you don't, like, skip through puzzles, since you already know the answers to many of them. It should be about 2 hours, if I remember. So this is about, like, a standard time for them. It's just like the hint button and the skip button that makes things progress a lot faster in this one your first time through than others would. And I think the puzzles are certainly a unbelievable degree much easier than Riven, which isn't a bad thing, you know? It's a completely different world between this game and Riven. They're very, very different. But then, so this game is currently going for, well, it's currently going for $5.24 because of the sale right now. But once it's done, it's gonna be for $7, which I think is perfectly fine. As I said, I really enjoy the story in this game. I don't think it's a bad game at all. In fact, I think it's a good game. I think it could have used a bit more polish all around, mainly in regards to the animation, because whenever characters do move, rather than this, like, kind of stagnant thing where he just, like, moves his head a tad bit back and forth, when the characters actually, like, walk around and do those kinds of things, I think the animations look pretty awkward. Once again, if I talk to this guy, I could show off
Another woman on board?
the basically
That's
no
still the
dubbing
bad luck,
whatsoever.
but welcome anyway.
Let's go ahead and skip that because I don't want that guy talking. But, nice, we just got a map right here. Oh god, what have I done? Now they're just gonna keep on talking. Okay. But yeah, like the lack of accurate dubbing, stuff like that, the fuzziness with the animations, you know. I think it could have used some more polish all around, but for the $7, I think this game, I think you could still get a lot of enjoyment in this game. Like, I really enjoyed it my whole way through, but you gotta know what you're getting into, because those puzzles where you have to search for things or play mahjong if you want to do it differently get very, very excessive, in my opinion, and get rather sick of them. I'm pretty sure there were cases, if I remember correctly, through my play, where I had like 3 of those puzzles in a row, maybe even more, in between other puzzles, and I really enjoyed all the other puzzles in the game, so I wish there could have been more. I wish there could have been a greater balance between the two, but, you know. This video has gone on long enough. If you guys are interested in picking up this game, I will put links to its Steam page below. Once again, it is going for $7 once the sale ends. $5.24 right now, so be that, decide whether or not it's worth it as you will. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like, a comment, and or subscribing if you have not. I am the EggScrambledGamer, and I will see you all next time.